In late 2025, the world's eyes remain fixed on Gaza, a land battered by war, now standing at a pivotal crossroads. The devastation is visible from every angle, and the sense of anticipation is palpable as the world wonders what comes next for this embattled strip of land. The January ceasefire ended the bombs, but left a heavy silence and deep uncertainty. Streets once filled with life now echo with the memories of conflict, and the scars of war are etched into every building and every face. The US and Israel are pushing rival visions for Gaza's future, blueprints that will shape the lives of over 2 million people. Each side brings its own priorities and fears to the negotiating table, knowing that the stakes could not be higher. America wants to link Gaza's reconstruction to a broader regional peace, envisioning a future where stability and prosperity are possible. Israel's priority, meanwhile, is ensuring attacks like those that sparked this war never happen again, focusing on security above all else. Their goals overlap but diverge sharply on security, governance, and the idea of a Palestinian state. The path forward is tangled, with every decision carrying weighty consequences for both peoples. Meanwhile, Gaza's people, traumatized and displaced, watch as their fate is debated in distant capitals. Their daily lives are shaped by decisions made far away, and hope mingles with anxiety as they await news of their future. What happens here will ripple across the Middle East, affecting global security and the prospects for peace. The world's attention is not just on Gaza, but on the broader region, where every move is closely watched. Every proposal carries immense risks. A misstep could reignite chaos, but success could open the door to historic regional cooperation. The stakes are nothing less than the future stability of the Middle East. This is more than rebuilding. It's a test of the world's resolve to forge lasting peace from the ashes of war. The international community faces a defining challenge, one that will reveal its true commitment to justice and recovery. The choices made now will echo for generations, shaping Gaza's future and the region's moral landscape. In this moment, the world must decide what kind of legacy it will leave behind for those who come after. To grasp Gaza's future, we must first confront its present reality, a place where daily life is defined by uncertainty and loss. After 15 months of relentless war, Gaza is a landscape of devastation. Entire neighborhoods have been reduced to rubble, with streets that once bustled now eerily silent. The United Nations estimates that 42 million tons of debris must be cleared before any real rebuilding can begin, a task that could take years. 14 out of every 15 homes are damaged or destroyed, leaving families with nowhere safe to return. Millions are displaced, forced to survive in makeshift camps or the ruins of their former homes, struggling to find shelter and basic necessities. Gaza's infrastructure is shattered. Only one hospital in North Gaza is even partially functional, leaving thousands without access to proper medical care. Nearly all schools are damaged, depriving children of education and a sense of normalcy. Children face a lost future, their education and safety buried under rubble, their dreams put on hold by conflict. Water is a public health disaster. Over 95% of Gaza's groundwater is contaminated, making clean water a daily struggle for survival. Humanitarian aid trickles in, but it's nowhere near enough to meet the overwhelming needs of the population. Israeli restrictions on imports, citing security concerns, make reconstruction even harder and slow the delivery of essential supplies. This is the grim reality on which new plans for Gaza's future are being drawn, with every blueprint shaped by the scars of war. Rebuilding Gaza means more than bricks and mortar. It's about restoring hope, dignity, and the possibility of a better tomorrow for its people. Any plan that ignores the depth of suffering here, or the voices of those most affected, is doomed to fail before it even begins. The world must see Gaza's people not as statistics, but as individuals, each with urgent needs, hopes, and dreams that deserve to be heard and respected. The US sees Gaza's devastation not just as a humanitarian crisis, but as a pivotal opportunity for change in the region. American officials are pushing to install a new, internationally backed political order, hoping to reshape Gaza's future. Washington's plan is clear: no role for Hamas in the new administration, but instead, a reformed Palestinian Authority, or PA, would be empowered to govern both Gaza and the West Bank, with international support. The PA would be strengthened, tasked with demilitarizing Gaza, restoring order, and building trust among the population. It would also oversee a massive, internationally funded reconstruction effort, aiming to rebuild homes, schools, and vital infrastructure. No forced displacement, no Israeli reoccupation, and no reduction of Gaza's territory. These are America's red lines, meant to reassure Palestinians and the world. The plan is closely tied to reviving the long-stalled two-state solution and winning support from key Arab states, whose cooperation is seen as essential for lasting peace. An ambitious economic vision, inspired by the Great Trust Plan, imagines Gaza as part of a trade corridor linking India, the Middle East, and Europe, promising new jobs and prosperity. But controversial ideas like incentivized relocation and outside control spark deep Palestinian suspicion and fears of losing autonomy. For the US, this is a high-stakes gamble. Stabilize Gaza, restore American credibility in the region, and push for a broader regional peace that could reshape the Middle East for generations. Whether this vision can overcome local distrust, deep-rooted grievances, and regional divisions remains to be seen. Israel's plan for Gaza is shaped by trauma and a single demand: absolute security. The government insists on destroying Hamas and Islamic Jihad's capabilities and maintaining indefinite military control over Gaza and the West Bank. Israel wants a security buffer zone inside Gaza, shrinking its territory, directly clashing with US principles. Control of the Gaza-Egypt border is non-negotiable for Israel, straining ties with Egypt. Israel rejects the current PA, proposing instead vague, local elements to run civil affairs, leaving governance undefined. The plan calls for closing UNRWA, transferring its duties to other aid groups. Israel also rejects any imposed settlement or unilateral recognition of a Palestinian state, insisting on direct negotiations. For Israel, security trumps all else, even if it means perpetual control and international friction. The gap between Israeli and American visions is wide, and the path forward is anything but clear. With Israel rejecting the PA and the US opposing Hamas, who will govern Gaza is the thorniest question. The favored proposal, a technocratic Palestinian government, non-political experts managing reconstruction, backed by Arab states and international donors. Arab support hinges on real progress toward a two-state solution, clashing with Israel's stance. Meanwhile, Gazans themselves have drafted the Gaza Phoenix Plan, aiming for local agency and sustainable development. Israel's idea of empowering undefined local elements is met with skepticism, raising fears of chaos or warlordism. The core issue: legitimacy. Without genuine buy-in from Gaza's people, any new authority risks being seen as a puppet. The future of Gaza's leadership will determine whether peace or instability takes root. Gaza's fate is a global issue, with stakes far beyond its borders. Success could unlock Israeli-Saudi normalization and reshape the Middle East. Failure risks renewed conflict, regional instability, and a new generation of militants. The US sees Gaza's reconstruction as part of a broader strategy, linking India, the Gulf, and Europe, countering China's Belt and Road. Gaza is now a pawn in great power competition, its future tied to Washington and Beijing's rivalry. The world is watching. Questions of law, rights, and justice are on trial. International institutions' credibility hangs in the balance. The outcome in Gaza will send a message about the values the world is willing to defend. Amid blueprints and doctrines, the core truth remains. Peace in Gaza requires justice, dignity, and hope. Past efforts managed conflict, not its root causes. That must change. The US and Israel's competing visions, security versus sovereignty, must be reconciled. Real progress means immediate improvements: freedom to travel, rebuild, and self-govern. Palestinian voices, like those behind Gaza Phoenix, must be central, not sidelined. The world faces a moral test. Will power dictate Gaza's fate, or will universal rights prevail? Peace won't come from imposed plans, but from recognizing Gaza's people as partners in their own future. Only then can a true and lasting peace be built.